I know this angle seems weird, but we're gonna go with it and you'll see why in a minute. So hi, I'm Jen. I am the maker behind Space for Sunflowers, and this week we are diving in to all of the market prep work that I am doing for my first ever 2-day market. I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm all the things. So I have tons of inventory that, gosh, I have tons of inventory that I had been making throughout the year last year and bringing to markets, and things that I just made extra of or had been, I like to keep my inventory stocked. Like, I do not like, especially handmade plushies, accessories, items, things like that. Like, I cannot rely on making new stock for every market. So the good thing is I'm in a good place. I feel really good about the inventory that I ended 2025 with, and I have some focus areas that I'm working on specific to the markets that I have signed up for and have been accepted into already in 2026. So let's get into it. Intro-y time. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, so what I've got here is I spent last night working on, in my planner, because I'm a paper planner girl, I have digital calendars, I have spreadsheets, I have all of that stuff, but if I don't write it down, I do not feel like it's been logged as a task, and also it's been logged as something that can be like a task that I'm going to remember to do. Trying to stay down here. I want you to see my desk, which is why this angle is so weird, but I keep having to lean oddly, hello, at you. So I want to, it doesn't log in my brain, it doesn't register, but it also doesn't like leave my brain. So in the interest of, and God, I feel like why am I over explaining this? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Like, the things that keep you up in the middle of the night that you can't stop thinking about, it goes away for me if I write it down. So that's what I'm trying to say. I have to have a paper planner. Otherwise, I feel overwhelmed. And that's where I was getting at yesterday. Today is Friday. It is January 23rd. My market is just over a week away. So I am in the final crunch, final week of prep. And yesterday, I was really starting to get overwhelmed. I had previously in my planner I have been doing like a week to week at the bottom of my planner. I've been doing a week to week, just running checklists. There it is. Of things that I need to make. And I don't know if you can read my chicken scratch or if this is in any way helpful, but that's what we're talking about. And it's just been things that I needed to do. And like you can, like I started it the week before I had the running list and it was massive. And you can see there's some checks in the check boxes and there's some not so much checks in the check boxes. And I just drag it forward into the next week. And the list has been getting more honed and more focused as time has been running out and all of that. But I've also been finding that I've been getting kind of distracted with things like there have been so many pattern drops. And I talked about that a little bit in this week's video, the week that went out, the week I'm recording this, but what was going to be last week's video from when this is. I'm just going to adjust the camera for now because you know what? This is the best of intentions, but also like, let's not make it weird than it needs to be. There she is. All right, just hold that there. Work with me, my little bendy thing. There we go. Okay, so now you can see me and I'm not like, So if you're new here, welcome to the chaos. This is it. So that's what I'm doing, but I'm getting overwhelmed. And last week I talked about all the patterns that I have been buying, and I feel like the new year came hard and people were like releasing patterns and it was exciting and there's so many new things to explore. I have my box of Naughty Pony yarn behind me that I haven't even dove into yet. I said at the end of last year that I was clearing the decks so I could just jump in and hit the ground running and just really enjoy the Naughty Pony amazingness. That is still to come, and it's going to come in this video because it's on the list. And I've got my list now. Instead of all this long tangent to explain, instead of writing my long list, running list at the bottom of the page where it gets ignored, now you can see the bottom of my page is empty. There's nothing there. That's because I have placed it in my days. So you can see we're expecting icemageddon, but that's the days. I'm now specifically running a task list day to day to make sure I get the things done. So long intro into this prep video, but that's what I've got. So on my to-do list for today is I have to finish my K-pop diva, tiger, girl, whatever we're calling her. I love her so much. Gosh, I just love her. She's so cute. So I have to finish my K-pop girl. I then want to make my derpy tigers because I definitely want to have derpies for this market. I have some flying dragons that are still wingless, so I need to get the wings done. And then there was a free Instagram pattern that I had bookmarked ages ago for ladybugs, little ladybugs. And I thought with it being Valentine's Day, also like we're gonna get into spring soon, but with Valentine's Day and the anime market hitting, this is really my only opportunity. I want to make little love bugs and have the spots be hearts. So that's what is on tap for today. That's what we're gonna work on. I'm not gonna go into tomorrow's list because we'll do another video tomorrow when I get into tomorrow's list. So I'm gonna stop yapping at you and I'm gonna put the camera back the way it was and we're gonna knock some things off the to-do list together. Let's do it. I wanted to slow things down for a bit and just show her off because I finished the K-pop tiger. Oh my God, look how cute she is. She is from Casey Joe Designs. If you haven't checked her out, please go check her out. This is a Etsy pattern. I had bought, I had seen it come up and I had saved it and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do another doll or if I'm going to do, because I had just bought a couple of other doll patterns that I hadn't made yet. And then when I'm just fixing this line of the embroidered eye, sometimes they shift a little bit and there we go. But I had saved her and look at the stripes on her head. I love it. I had saved her, and I wasn't sure if I was going to commit to another doll because I have bought some doll patterns that I haven't made yet, but they're more for spring markets. I wanted to get into doing fairies. One of the ones that I picked up is an Anne of Green Gables. Oh my God, love that book from when I was a kid. Doll, so I wasn't sure if I was ready to commit to this one just yet, but then when I went to Michael's, and I got the yarn for Derpy Tigers, I picked up extra so I could make the doll and, you know, actually use this beautiful retro velvet from Premiere that I had bought to make a different doll that still hasn't been made. But yeah, it was perfect for the hair. So, I mean, it was just a coming together of a whole bunch, and the encouragement of having a 2-day anime market coming up. Like, it was just the encouragement of a bunch of different things that came together so that this doll could be completed. And I love her so very much. This pattern was absolutely delightful to make. Such a joy. The actual base of the doll itself is pretty straightforward. You start with the arms, you then work onto the legs, starting with the boots, the little feet, and then you build up the body. I think I had shown her previously before the end of the sweatshirt was attached to the bottom, so it looked like she was just wearing like a onesie. If you saw season 5 of Stranger Things, it looked an awful lot like Eleven's wetsuit, just in blue. So that was great. And then the magic is in all of the details, like the little stripes up on the top. And her pictures show the stripes like perfectly lining up between the ears. I had to go up on the ears a little bit to get my stripes to line up, but you know what? I like it. I love it, actually. So there's that. There's the stripes in the ears. Even tiny details like putting little paw fingers and toes on the hands and the feet. Like, it's things like that that really made this pattern special, and I would love to make more of her. I don't think I would ever have more than one at a time unless I was to change the hair. So this pattern comes with the hair instructions for Rumi from K-Pop Demon Hunters. The only way I would have more than one of this doll at a time is if I was to make a Zoe and I really want to say her name's Mira, and I hope it's Mira, otherwise I'm going to be really upset because it's wrong, but the 2 other girls from the group. So that's the only way I would do this, but I love her. She's amazing. Couple of things that I did when I sewed on the pocket, I left the sides open, so it's an actual functioning kangaroo pouch. You could probably stick like a little chapstick or something in there and have her sit on your desk. So I loved that, because I love when pockets are functional, even when it's on something that doesn't require a functional pocket, like an amigurumi doll. I just love when pockets are functional. Maybe it's because so many designers and clothing makers do not make functional pockets for women. So that was one little thing that I did. And another thing that I did that wasn't explicitly in the directions is I did tack down the hood. So I love the big hood, but because her head is bigger than her body, there's more rounds across in the head than the torso. And then we add the hair cap on top with the Dutch braid, the nice, fluffy, thick, beautiful braid. The hood to accommodate is really big, and that's in the pattern. The hood is supposed to be large. So when the hood was down, I didn't really like that. It kind of laid like a cape. So I added, when I had my worsted weight black out to do the little finger and toe details, I just did a line along where I had put the chenille for the black vertical stripes over the top of it to just tack it into her head. So, and that's what I did. But I am so excited. I'm going to put my branded tag on her back right here and bring her to market. And I'm just so excited to have her at my booth. It's Saturday, January 24th, and it is Focus on Some Packaging Day. So it is icemageddon outside. Not quite yet.
icemageddon comes later. But before the threat of losing power becomes an issue, I wanted to work on printing out some of the cards that I have been working on to replace the coffee sleeve cards that I have been using before, as well as some new cards for my cheeky little bookmarks. So you saw me working with my computer. I set things up. I work in Adobe Illustrator, having been a web developer, freelancer, designer from a lifetime ago. I do still have my Adobe account, so I can use those tools. My Mega Tank printer, best purchase I ever made. Love this thing. And some really thick cardstock that I picked up at Michael's. So we're printing out here. And I love this cardstock. I do like that it has kind of a muted look. It kind of leans into that whole natural, what am I going for? Like flower stand that I like to bring to my booth. So these are printing out great. Hello again. It's Monday, January 26th now, and it's been a very cold, very icy weekend of working on makes to get ready for this anime market, which is this weekend. So I've got a lot to do still. Let's jump right in so that I can get back to the things that I need to get back to, because I am not fully market prepped before this update. Nobody's surprised by this. I'm never fully updated or fully ready for anything at any time, including what I'm about to talk about, because I just realized I have like patterns I need to share that I haven't even looked up the thing for. So give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
I mostly have it together. All right, so first up, this was not on my list, full disclosure, not at all on my list, but I have been working with making bags, and I've been working on previously only having these bigger tote style bags. I call them hobo bags because they're kind of slouchy. They're constructed with granny squares that look like stained glass. They have like a texture over the top and then a variegated yarn underneath, and the combined result is it looks like stained glass, and they're super pretty, but they take a long time to make. So, long rambling way to say, the price point of these bags, they get a lot of attention at markets. I think they will do better either online or in a retail space. I was planning to apply for my first opportunity in a retail space. However, I think for now I'm gonna have to let that one go. The deadline's coming up too quickly. I have had it bookmarked for pretty much a whole month now, and the reason I haven't applied is because my photography is not there. Also, I keep making things and I keep changing my packaging for said things because I'm trying to figure all of that out. So the long way around to realize I just don't think I'm ready to jump into a retail space. I think I need to focus on the markets, the website that I promised would go live early this year, which is still in progress. It is actually in progress. There is a site, not at a URL anybody can publicly visit, but there is a site that I am working on. So anyway, long way to say, I'm letting that go. But the lesson from the bags is that I'm pricing myself right out of making sales with these bags at markets. And I like to make them. I like to have things that aren't plushies. I know there is a market for things that are wearables and accessories, and it's what I started making, so I don't want to like just abandon it. I want to keep that part of it, the core part. So this is a new bag design that I found on a blog, Sweet Softies, and it's free. It doesn't look all that interesting when it's open like this because we have one short strap and one long strap. However, the magic of it is when you slip the long strap under the short strap and it knots itself and becomes this adorable like wristlet mini hobo style bag. The blog says that it is, they call it a Mosu bag. It's a Japanese knot bag. And I love it. I think it fits perfectly in, first of all, I love it with this color and this yarn. This is a Caring Cotton Cake. with that has the long variegation that I've always struggled with. What do I do with it? Do I separate it into different colors and just use the individual colors? This is a pattern that works super well with this longer change between colors. And I especially loved that we have like the thinner band, and then a nice thick band in the middle with the way that this worked up. And then we have a thinner band, and then the straps ended up in 2 different colors. So I love how this came together. I did put a tag on the inside. You can line it. I am not lining my bags yet, because sourcing and buying and working with fabric is a whole nother thing. I think my sewing machine is upstairs in my attic right now in storage. It scares me a little bit. I have made things with it, but it scares me a little bit. I do have a little bit of fear of the sewing machine. So for right now, not doing lined for the bag, but for something like this, I mean, it's perfect to just throw your keys, your wallets, your cell phone in, and you don't have to find pockets for all of these things as you're running out the door. So I love it. I will be making more of these. I especially love how it blends with the Caring Cotton cakes. So that is the first thing. I've only made one of these so far because this wasn't on my list. This was a side quest, 100% a side quest, but I will bring it to market. I hope to make more if I have time. I have a few more things that I want to get done, knocked off the list, that have to take precedence just because of being thematic for the market, or the time of year, or just things that I wanted to replenish. But I definitely, one of the things that I want to turn back to once I get those priority items knocked off the list is making a couple more of these, because I think these are really cute. I would see them being a hit, to be honest, at the market. Price points will be much more friendly. I think I have these marked in, what do I have these priced as? I know it's in the $20 range. So my prior bags were $60 because they took hours upon hours to make. This one is under $30. And I think that's a much more approachable price point for a handmade bag that you pick up at a market. So that is that. The next thing and I'm looking away. The next thing that I'm gathering over here, and these are not new makes, my coffee koozies. As I was getting ready for applying for this retail and also getting ready for market, I was reevaluating my current packaging / branding for my drink koozies, because I have the book thongs that I've made a whole rainbow of. So they also need some packaging. And I have my drink sleeves, which you can see here. I wrote drink sleeves on the top and stuck a transparent sticker on a not white background. So it's subtle. It doesn't look bad, but it's not the best, most professional look. And then there's that problem. These just slide right off, because the story with these is I was like, we just need the shape. And I found the shape and I'm like, it's perfect. I'll cut it out with my silhouettes. It'll stick on. It's great. None of those things are true. Nobody knows what this is. It says drink sleeve on it because I had previously just had these with the stickers on the bottom and the sleeve, thinking with the shape, I can't hide the words, and just imagine it doesn't say anything up there. Can't hide the words and show the top shape. I figured the shape is pretty reminiscent of a coffee cup. It doesn't need the words. It just said $8 up there before. So many people come into the booth and mistake the drink sleeves for baby headbands, thinking that they're tucked behind here. And I'm like, no, those are coffee koozies. And they're like, oh, that makes more sense. So it wasn't translating. So what I did is I decided to embiggen my sleeve card, be more forgiving with the shape. It doesn't need to be perfect. This was pretty much exactly cut on the edge. This on the silhouette. This is a 8.5 by 11 half sheet, so it's 8.5 by 5.5. 8.5, 5.5. And I was planning to just cut it straight. For the sleeves, that didn't quite work because they're tapered, so I did have to go in and cut a little bit off the edges to taper it, but it worked. And I could do it with my scissors, because the issue I had with this material, this harder, it's a cardstock, but it's a really thick cardstock. Like, I intentionally went out and got like the thickest cardstock I could get because I wanted this to be pretty substantial. It doesn't stick to my mat very well because I have a regular mat. I don't have like a high intensity or high sticky mat, whatever they're called. So it doesn't stick, it shifts. So when it's printed and then cut, things weren't lining up perfectly. So I wanted to make it something that I could just cut by hand really quickly. And then I got it on Amazon and I wanted to add protective sleeves to the whole thing so it would look way more professional, way more ready to purchase and just bring home as it is and not just be like this. The reason these are frosted is because I desperately wanted it to be compostable, biodegradable. I didn't want to add any additional plastic to my footprint because I'm already working with polyester and acrylic and non-natural fiber yarns. I do print things. I try to use recycled paper when possible, but I'm trying to be at least making conscious decisions about the types of materials that I'm using. The yarns that I do use are certified to not have the 100 bad chemicals in them. I can't pronounce the certification, but I'm not even gonna try it. I'll put it right there. So you'll all know what it is. But that said, I'm trying to make conscious choices in the materials that I add where possible. So they're a little bit frosted because they're biodegradable, and I couldn't find perfectly clear biodegradable ones that could be here quickly enough. I had to source these somewhere that I could get them pretty quick. So that's what I did. They're self-sealing, which is great, and they don't have any additional writing on them, which a lot of them did. A lot of them brag about how they are eco-friendly, which is amazing, but if you're showing off a product inside of it, you want to be able to see the product. So I'm thinking for my booth, you can't see the writing as well in the sleeve, so I figure we'll have one out, probably just pasted onto where these are, and it can be the showpiece, and then the rest of them will all be inside the bin or the basket or whatever I'm using to store these in. So that's great. And it works double time because the sleeves will fit the coffee koozies and they will also fit the bookmarks that I have created a card for. Now these are also half sheet, 8.5 by 5.5, just cut straight down the middle, and I put a little very simple design on them reminiscent of a book so you can see, visualize pretty quickly how this works as a bookmark, and I call them the cheeky little bookmarks. These are of course the book thongs by LCK Crochet. LCK, it's right. I think that's right. I will put it down below, and if it is not right, I apologize, but the crochet book thongs that I've talked about several times, it's on Etsy. It's a great pattern. And then I added the little candy hearts. I got a whole bunch of little candy hearts so that they coordinate with the colors of yarn that I got. I got them the same day so that they would match, and I think they look really cute. I'm gonna have to print and cut more of these, and then they'll pop right into the sleeves. And again, we'll have one out front so you can see what it is. Cute. I think this is gonna work so much better. So much better. I love that. Speaking of, let me pull this up here so I'm not turning away every time I try to grab things out of my little bin. I have a little bin here full of things, literally full of things that we're going to talk about today. So let me just get my life together. Speaking of the book thongs, I want to show off what's done. so that way we can see the rainbow of colors. So I've got one of each color way that I've made. So I have the purple and pink, the yellow and off-white, the shades of blues, the shades of greens, and the red with black. The red with black is the only one that I didn't put a heart charm on for this one. I also have bow charms. So the other thing that I want to make before this weekend is another one, at least another one of each of these colors, so that we have quite a few of the charms added onto it. But if I don't, that's okay, because I have one of each color. So that's great. And these I am going to be selling for $16. They do take quite a bit of time. I'm getting faster at making them the more that I do it. I do stick to, the pattern comes with different lace options for the edges. I stick to the shell option because honestly, it's my favorite. I like it the most. I had tried, this one is not gonna be for sale because I totally messed up my stitch count somewhere and it's all wonk. But I had tried one of the other lace edges and it's cute. It's really, really cute. But Valentine's Day with the little hearts, I thought the shells really sold it. And also with the bows. I like it. Cute, cute, cute. So that's those. My desk is gonna be back. 3 heart cows. I talked about those in last week's video in detail, so I will just show them right here because this is part of the market prep. Crochet by Empanada, super cute pattern, fun little make. I had a blast doing these guys. I hope to be making more of these in the future, but for this market, I think 3 is a good number. And these I will be selling for, I had put 14. It's a little bit of sewing. I might go up to 16 for these guys. And in fact, I think I will. Little cows, because there is some sewing involved. But they're really cute. They're really fun. I love them. And yeah. Before I get into another new to me pattern, I'm going to talk about my Avalon Crochet mini flying dragons. I finished them. They have eyes. They have wings. Some of them have 2-tone wings. Some of them have 1-tone wings. Thrilled. These guys are always a hit at my markets. I'm looking for, oh, here's the other one. Always a hit at my markets, especially the last couple ones I've been looking for pink. If I make any more of these before Saturday, it's gonna be, or even between Saturday and Sunday, it's gonna be pink because they were hot commodity in the wintertime at the holiday markets. And yeah, so I got 1 pink, 1 green, 1 red, 1 blue, 1 Fury Dragon style, and then I have whatever I had made from the holiday markets that have not yet sold. So I think I have orange and blue, another light blue, and I'm trying to think. I might have a yellow. That might be why I didn't make yellow. I might have a yellow. So very good. Very excited about those guys. Awesome. Okay. And then, of course, if I'm replenishing mini flying dragons, I have to replenish pocket dragons. This is from Serendipity Designs. I talk about them literally all the time. Oh, flying dragons, I sell these guys for $12 each. They're really not very much sewing at all. In fact, the only sewing that is done is the wings and the little tail. That's it. So these work up nice and quick, very market friendly make. These guys, I love. I love these. So fun. I've made so many of them. I'm not going to show them all, but I made, let's see, how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, I guess I'll show them as a count, 4, 5, 6 of the flower style, which I sell for $12 each. Yeah, $12 for the flower style. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the solid style, one of which was done in a Fury Dragon, which I had another Fury Dragon, at least one. I think I had 2 Fury, I think I had 2 dark Furies and 1 white Fury. If I have any of them left, it would be one of the dark Furies. So I might be sold out of those. This might be the only Fury Dragon I have left. And then I have some that look like cookies. So I did a few cookie style ones that were using the bigger pattern, and they have a white edge and a white ridge down the back to look like frosting. So these guys will be added to that stock, and we will have plenty of small dragon representation at this weekend's market, which I'm super excited, happy about. Like, love that. I hit the goal I needed to hit on those dragons. Oh wait, no, I made 6. I made a white dragon, a white fury as well. So there we go. I got 6 of each. I was busy making dragons. Okay, now to the new stuff. First, I don't know if I talked about this one on here yet or not, but if I have, it's been a minute, is this guy. This, my sister-in-law sent to me over Christmas, and I had to make it. As soon as she sent it to me on TikTok, which I don't have, but I was like, I will find the link. I am on a mission, and I will find this, and we're gonna make this work, because 100% yes. So I make Miffy tiny plushes. I don't put them on keychains, although I probably could put them on keychains. And I'm looking down because I'm looking up designer names so I can share. But I make Miffy. Honestly didn't know who Miffy was. I'm gonna be totally candid. I don't love that I didn't know who Miffy was when I started making it. I thought it was a cute bunny. And I was like, oh, that's a cute bunny. I'm just gonna make that. But then somebody came up to me at a market and was like, is that Miffy? And I was like, yes, it is, because the name of the pattern is Miffy. And I never knew why the name of the pattern was Miffy. But yes, it's because this is Miffy. So then I looked in, I did the whole deep dive into who Miffy is and questioned my childhood, because I did not remember this character from my childhood. But anyway, so my sister-in-law sent me this, and the original Miffy design that I do is by Ayuli Crochets on Instagram. This one had to do a little bit of digging for, because it's not an Instagram pattern, and the one that my sister-in-law shared was on TikTok. So it is a YouTube tutorial by Big Bear Craft. So go find them and go. It's big_bear_craft on YouTube, and go find the tutorial, which is super easy, very cute, and it's an AirPod case. So you can just open one of the 2 sides. So when you make it, it is flat. You make it completely flat. From one end, so you make your middle box, and then you just start working the sides one at a time. One at a time you make the sides, and 2 of the sides are open to make the ears, and 2 of the sides are connected to make the flap that holds it together. And then you just embroider a little face on the front, and that's it. And you just slide your AirPod case in there, or your AirPods in there. So this is, I can't get over how cute it is. I did originally think I was going to put a keychain on this and have it be like my other AirPod cases that you can clip onto your bag. I think I still might do that. I just haven't done it yet. I'm honestly running low on keychain clasps, and I have more on order that are supposed to be here Thursday. But we had icemageddon, so I don't know if it's still going to be here Thursday or if it's going to be delayed. So I'm trying. I got a lot of keychains. I'm leaning into the keychains, and so these I might hold until the last minute to put keychains on, because they're cute as they are. They can just sit on your desk and hold your AirPods in them. the shape is a little bit better when they're puffed up with the earpods in. But yeah, you just lift the one side, slide them in, slide them out, and then close it back up when you're done. I thought these were awesome. I made 3 of these. Again, trying to not put all my eggs in one basket, so to speak, for any one particular thing, but just have a nice wide variety of options for things. So 3 little Miffy cases, and I love that. And this, again, Big Bear Craft, free tutorial on YouTube. Go check it out. Then I was shopping. You saw my K-pop tiger girl right here. I have put the tag on the back. I love her. I love her so much. I've settled on my price for her. She's going to be $95 for this one. She did require quite a bit of work. There's a lot of detail that goes into this. And I think she's something really special, and I want to honor that. So $95 for this one, made in the Posh Pearl, a little bit of Premier Retro Velvet for the hair, and Premier Just Chenille for the skin. Then I got into making what I really got all that yarn for, the blue yarn for, Derpy. Derpy. Leilu's Crochet Shop. Free pattern on Instagram. I think she's updated it a few times. I think I'm working from actually the prior version, not the most recent version, just because that's what I had saved. But I know she's updated and released a couple more, at least one more time since then. Eyes are hand-painted Derpy eyes by What's Up Cupcake Crafts. And he came out so much bigger than I thought. Let me just get my Derpy. And I got 2. I got one right here too. I got 2 Derpies that I made. Batch made these. Not a very batch friendly pattern, as I learned. Derpy, you gotta kind of make him all up, but I was trying to get 2 Derpies because that's the number I wanted. I'm super thrilled with how they came out. They are the most adorable, handsome, silly little guys, and I love them. But the funny thing is when I got the Posh Pearl, I got it because I was looking for a weight 5 yarn to replace using Bernat Velvet. That was what I had previously made my Derpies, my medium-sized Derpies, the original, the OG Derpy that I have offered in my booth. And this guy has always sold out whenever I've had him at a $36 price point. It's a great price point. The ones that I sell have Christine's hand-painted eyes that I buy from her. This one, again, is my Derpy. I will never part with him because he is, oh, I didn't put teeth on those. He is ridiculous. He reminds me of my kitten, the Tiny Terror, Max Attacks. So this is the size I thought I was making. I was gonna use a weight 5 yarn, a size 5mm hook, the yarn under method. I was like fully prepared. This is gonna be the size Derpy we're getting. This is the size Derpy I wound up with using the Posh Pearl. Weight 5 yarn, weight 5 yarn. Same version, iteration of the pattern. It's not like this one's using Derpy 1.0 and this is Derpy 2.0. No, these are using the same version of Leilu's Crochet Shop pattern. And I was shocked, to be honest. I could tell when I was doing the body, Derpy was gonna be bigger in this lighter blue than this one, because I have this one sitting on my desk all the time, and I was sort of looking over at him like, huh, you're looking a little big, a little chunky. So I picked him up and I held the body up next to him and I was like, wow, his body is like almost the size of the whole thing. All right, well, let's see where we go. I bought plenty of yarn and he's massive. So I will not be having $36 price point derbies at this market, which I'm a little disappointed at because I have Showstopper derby that I made in December. He's huge. He's even bigger than this one. He's massive. And he's $70 and I was hoping to have a $36 derby so that Showstopper derby could draw the kids in and then there would be a relatively friendly price point derby waiting for them. Instead, they're gonna have big derby. So they will be pulled in and then this one, I think it's either going to be 48 or it's going to be 52 and I can't decide where it's going to land. So we'll see where it lands, but I got to add my tags to him because he's nice and big. So big makes get the butt tats. But yeah, I was laughing a little bit with how different expectation met reality. I'm loving the color though. I absolutely love the color. It's lighter than derby is supposed to be. I do know that. My big show-stopping derby is pretty much spot on for the color. But honestly, I can't complain. This color is, I love it. The black just pops. The light stripes. I mean, I'm digging it. I love this color. This is blue raspberry and the Posh Pearl. If you buy it online, if you go into the store, it's called something else entirely. I think it's called bright blue, which is really confusing because they have another yarn that the light blue online is called bright blue, but when you buy it in the store, I think it's called light blue. So that's confusing. I love them. So that's my derby story. Let me put him back over here before we move on to what's next. What's next is, oh, before I do keychains, what's next is Green Frog Crochet has a whole series of hatching animals. I've made the hatching dragons before. They do very well at market. It took a couple markets for people to, I think, see them. I'm not sure why. I think I do know why. I think it's because my old dragon's nest was a terrible display. It was one of those wire rounded hanging planters that you're supposed to put a coconut husk bowl in. And I had put some cloth napkins in it to try to prevent things from falling out. It was so cobbled together and it looked terrible. And then I found I had these wire mesh baskets, like actual baskets. And so I put the hanging chains from the planters on the baskets and it looks so much better. You can see everything and everything stays in place. So anyway, I've done the dragons before, the hatching dragons. They've done well. I have all of her like woodland creatures that I haven't done yet. I have the Creamoo cows, which are a hit, but they're a little small. I had used Premier Just Chenille to make the cows originally because I didn't want to make them in plushie size. I also didn't have any brown in plushie size. So I went, or blanket yarn size. So I went with Premier Just Chenille because I have several browns in that. So I could make the ice cream cones, the cows, chocolate, all of that stuff. And they came out great. They're a little bit small. They come out, well, here's a dragon right here. They come out about this size. And I sell them for $18. I'm not changing the price point regardless of the size because I think 18 is the right price point for these guys. I just think they need to not be this size. I think they need to be a little bit bigger. And the dragons I've done in Bernat and they come out a little too big. So I'm looking for something in between. I had ordered in December a bunch of Naughty Pony yarn after hearing everybody brag, or not brag, but go on and on and on about how amazing this is. It's chenille yarn that doesn't shed. So I had to get some. The color palette, it's like a very established color palette. I think it's like 12 or 16 maybe basic colors. So you got basic colors, but there's several browns, which I got excited about. There's a couple of browns. And the colors that they have, like there's bright blue and light blue, there's pink, there's red, there's orange, there's yellow, there's green. Like it covers all your bases, which is awesome. It's been sitting in a box behind me, actually literally right behind me since then, because I just didn't have, with holiday markets, the holidays themselves, my yarn stash that I've been trying to work through so that I can replenish with the yarns that I have my big haul from Joann's when they went out of business, and I just bought all the Bernat. And then I decided, you know what? I love Mysticals. I love Baby Blankets. I love Dappled. Their solid colors hurt. So like this is a Baby Blanket Dappled. Oh, it's heaven. But if you use like a solid, like these, your hands are going to be protesting after not so long. So I'm trying to expand my yarn horizons so that I don't have to rely just on Bernat, especially with Joann's out of business and my local Michael's still refusing to actually put yarn on shelves. They have them in boxes in the hallways. They have some of them on shelves, but they have most of it in boxes in the hallways, in slide out bins underneath their shelving units, and they just rip off the face of the boxes and stick them up above the shelving units where they can tease you. So that's a whole thing. I don't like that. So expanding my yarn, but Naughty Pony. With the Creamu Cows pattern. Oh, so I have the Creamu Cows, I have the Woodland Animals, and I have the Fantasy Animals, which is where I get the dragons with the eggs. The Fantasy Animals have dragons, unicorns, dinosaurs, I call them fantasy, and axolotls with an egg. The cows have cows with ice cream cones with an egg, an ice cream cone, or a cupcake mods. And then the Woodland Animals have koala, capybara, squirrel, fox, probably something else I can't remember. Oh, monkey. And then they have different fruits. So there's eggs. There's not eggs. I don't think there's eggs. There's like an acorn, a lemon. Maybe the koala isn't an egg, but it looks like a leaf. It's got like leaf embellishments on it, and a banana. So those are fun. So I got all those so I'd have all the options to make animals and things to have them pop out of. Surprise animals. That's what her pattern packs are called. So when I got them, all I could think of is that it would be so cute to have the unicorns from the fantasy pack and the cupcakes from the cow pack. So that's what I did in in Naughty Pony. And these have the little swings, not swings. These are like little purses, so little girls and boys, kids, can put them on their arm and carry them around. I'm a full adult, so it's a little bit small for me, but it's perfect for kids. And they're so cute. Now, Naughty Pony does not shed, so that is why there's a little yarn tabs here, because what you're supposed to do is pull off all the fluff until it's just down to the string, and then just hide the string into the chain that you made for the strap. But because this is Naughty Pony and it doesn't shed, I just have a little knot there to keep it in place, and then I just neatened it up by making it small. And I think that's fine. It's even, which is what matters. And I put sprinkles on top. So I have a lemon cupcake with caramel. I have a white cupcake with strawberry. And then I wanted to do a rainbow swirl of the different unicorn colors. So I have the baby blue, the cotton candy, and the lavender. And I love them. I love them so much. And then I have on order buttons with my logo on them. But for now, I use these buttons that I had gotten from Amazon, and I just picked ones that kind of coordinated with the cake that I made. And then inside each one is hiding a little unicorn. And it's so soft. Oh my God. This yarn, like, I just want to make everything in it. It's so soft. It's so perfect. I love it. But look how cute they are. And I did different colors. So, and tried to coordinate them. So in my lemon one, I have a blue and pink unicorn. In my strawberry one, I have a purple and blue unicorn. I just wanted to hit all the colors. And then in my rainbow cupcake, I have a pink and purple unicorn. So, so cute. One day, I plan to have like a whole ice cream bar situation with these where kids can come and they can mix and match. But in the meantime, I am just loving building up my little army of ice creams and cupcakes and soon to be added. I didn't do dragons yet because I have a couple of dragons left. And I think I want to put those out and sell those, and then I can focus on making new dragons once those sell. I didn't want to put them out together because these are a different size, even though, again, weight 6 yarn, Bernat weight 6, but as we know, Bernat is massive. So the dragons are much bigger than the unicorns. The cows are much smaller than the unicorns. We have cow, we have unicorn, and then we have dragon. All the same price. So I'm trying not to call attention to the fact that they are all different sizes right now, even though they are all different sizes. I don't have time to remake everything in the Naughty Pony, which is what I will eventually be doing, and making cows and dragons and unicorns and capybaras and koalas and squirrels and foxes and whatever else comes in those pattern packs, because I love these. Love them so much. The straps add-on only comes with the cows, but all it requires is a button to attach it to. And honestly, even with the dragons, they only have a button in the front. Well, maybe not with the dragons. I don't think it makes sense with the eggs. But with the cupcakes and with the ice cream cones, it definitely makes sense to have the little straps. So I love that. So yay! I finally got to live my dream of making the Naughty Pony yarn into the little hatching surprise animals by Green Frog Crochet. So excited. Whew. Throat's getting dry, talking too much. All right, 3 more makes for this prep. And then I think we'll have officially covered everything that I have ready before today. So, next up, I have, first of all, I want to talk about this. Again, when I was buying my patterns, I found on Woolly Tunes on Instagram, which is Woolly Patterns on Etsy, had I think it just came up. I wasn't searching for this, but I think it just came up of Howl's Moving Castle inspired keychains. I made mine in Bernat, so they're a little big. I'm going to call them backpack buddies or bag buddies. Bag buddies. That's what I'm going to call them. But I made the little Calcifer fire sprite. And I love him so much, so much. You make 2 sides of the circle in the middle. I've got 4 of them. I don't know where the 4th one is right now. Oh, he's right there. So I made 4 of these. And then there's also a turnip head, which my favorite character was turnip head. So I need to make some of that. That's one of the high priority things I need to make, because I need to have some turnip heads. But these are the little calcifers. You make 2 circles and then attach them together with the final round to make the flames. And I just love them. You're supposed to stuff them too, but I figured with the Bernat, because that's what these are made in, is Bernat. They're puffy enough and if it's a bag buddy, I didn't want it to be too like bulbous. So I think they work pretty well when they're flat as well. And they're just so cute. I love them. Super quick to work up. So these are gonna be $12 at my booth. And I'm gonna add Turnip Head, and he will also be $12. And then also will be $12. I've got one so far, but I gotta make more of these. Are these little Demogorgon keychains, bag buddies, which I just love. Look how funky they are. This one was a free Instagram pattern, which I'm now looking up because again, I don't have it together. We know this is what we're here for. The upside down monster charm, also by Woolly Tunes. So same designer. We've got Calcifer and we've got Demogorgon. Wow, if I made the Demogorgon in Bernat's, he would be massive compared to Calcifer. This is in Premier Just Chenille, and I think it's pretty much the perfect size. So love it. I also love like that my Premier Just Chenille that I have for red is like this variegated red. So I thought that added to the whole like aesthetic. I know Demogorgons are gray technically because I looked it up, but I liked the look of them with the fleshy tone. I might make some in gray. I have gray, so I might make some gray, some fleshy, do a mix, but I love these guys too. These are cute. I've only got one of these so far. Hope to make more. These are those high priority things that I'm getting into now. Things that I really want to have more of. And then I do need to make rose sea turtles, which I haven't done yet, but I made these mini rose keychains by Hecklagorian Bamser. And if I butchered that name, I apologize because I probably did. But I made in some solid pink and again in that variegated red and light pink. Wow, I have more of these than I thought. Yeah. Super cute. So trying to build out that keychain bag buddy, bag charm stock. Because my plushie stock, I'm gonna be honest, is in a really good spot. I have spent the last year making, and I feel really good about where we ended up. So the focus has been on replenishing the things that have sold down, making a couple cute thematic or seasonally thematic makes, and then focusing on those smaller, cute little guys. And bookmarks, adding bookmarks into my repertoire. So that is the update for this week. I have my list of my priorities. I'm gonna make some Turnip Head from that Howl's Moving Castle pack. I am gonna make some more Demogorgons from Woolly Tunes. Obviously both of those are from Woolly Tunes. I do have a Monster Ball. It's an free Instagram pattern pack, but I think what they are they're called monsters, and they were Christmas ornaments. They'd make great bag buddy keychain things, but they're not. They say monsters, but I think I'm almost 100% positive they're evolved Pokemon because they're called like Leafeon and Sylveon and Glaceon. But I'm going to try my hand at making the black one. It's not in the pack, but the black one with the gold accents, because I've heard that's the one that everybody wants. And I can't remember, it's Umbreon maybe, and that's the one everybody wants. So I'm gonna try to do that. So those are the things that I'm working on as we head into the week. 2-day market this weekend, so I should hopefully have a juicy market recap video for y'all next week, because first 2-day market load in is Friday night. I plan to be all ready by then. I'm spending my time today working on admin tasks, filling out my inventory, making sure I have everything tagged and labeled and price tagged and all of that good stuff. And then I'll be just jumping right into those makes. So there will be some more makes to look at next week, as well as the market recap. Stay warm. If you are in somewhere that has been impacted by icemageddon, which is I think pretty much anywhere in the United States. So if you're in the US, stay warm. If you're outside the US, also stay warm, because it is, or cool if you're somewhere where it's summer right now. Lucky, I want to be where it's summer. Anyway, and I will see you next week.